Whoa!
What's up, Mason?
What's up, Adam? Ho, 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 I guess I could say.
That's right. We're a couple weeks early, but ho ho ho, Mason. It's December 11th, but the
Uh,
holidays are in full swing.
oh,
I
yeah.
know I'm feeling it with all the extra traffic of people going to stores to shop. What do people still go? Like, I feel like when we were younger, like this is starting the podcast on just an absolute random muck note, but like I feel like when we were young,
Uh,
right? Like we would always go to the mall and like buy people gifts, because I
the
feel like
mall was the place.
yeah, like online shopping was a thing, but as
The thing.
it wasn't the thing. So it's like you had to go to Walmart, you had to go to Target. The that big book of toys that would come out on like Black Friday from Toys R Us that you'd get like in the
Rip.
paper. Yeah,
Yeah.
R.I.P. Toys R Us. But like that was the thing. You
Uh,
like went to the store and you did your shopping, and now I feel like you know it would be easier to just buy stuff online. But the amount of traffic that Atlanta has right now, and I'm just chalking it up to holiday shopping. Like, stay
oh, yeah.
home,
Definitely.
do your shopping online. You know why,
We all
Mason?
do it
Because
now.
www.assemblagebevco.com has all your merch needs,
Assemblage.
all your merch needs, all your holiday gifts. No deals going on right now, but maybe some deals to come. But I don't know why I'm even plugging Assemblage. They're not our sponsor for this. Cheap bastards aren't
Ooh.
sponsoring us anymore. Um, our sponsor
Uh,
though is Shoes Pizzeria. And today I want to kind of
Shoes.
go back to the roots of Shoes Pizzeria. Before it was Shoes, so Shoes Pizzeria started in 2010, but the origins date way, way back because my parents they're not old, but they've been on the earth for a while. They're gonna kill me for
They're
saying that.
they're
But
well aged wines.
yeah, they're well aged wines and only getting better with age. So
Exactly.
Chris and Katrina, who are my parents, met at a small family-owned pizzeria in upstate New York, which is where they're from. And they not only fell in love with each other, but they fell in love with the world of pizza. Aw, so sappy. They both
This
went
is
to
sweet.
college. So sweet. They both went to college and got jobs in other professions. My dad was in mortgages, and my mom was a hairdresser. Um, but owning a pizzeria was always a dream of theirs. In either 2008 or 2009, I don't remember because I was a kid. They went back to New York and spoke to the owner of the pizzeria that they met at and brought the recipe to Northwest Indiana. And in 2010, the rest became history. Super grateful for that. 2010, I was 14 years old, and kind of just being thrown into like a semi full time, semi part time job was, most days I didn't like it, but now looking back, like it gave me and my brother such good life lessons, gave us some business knowledge, gave us, more importantly, like people skills and like the ability to just like talk to people, which I've found is not a common thing these days. Which makes me
Yeah.
sound old. Kids these days. But
Kids
anyway,
these days.
it wasn't always easy for my parents. Starting a small business, and it's still far from easy. But they just hit an absolutely massive milestone sales mark for the year. Their first time doing it, and just wanted to say super super proud of them, slinging massive amounts of pies and wings and sandwiches and all that good stuff. And it's something that I know that my parents have been looking for a long time, and now they finally achieved it. So shout out to you, mom and dad. Shout out to you, current employees and employees, that helped us get there. Um, Over the years since 2010 all the way through now. So if you're in Northwest Indiana and you are looking for your new favorite pizza place, You can visit them at 3300 North Calumet Avenue in Valparaiso, Indiana. Give them a call, 219-476-SHOE or 219-476-4763. They deliver through DoorDash, all that good stuff. Go pick up, go eat in, go say hi to Chris. He's a great guy. And now, Mason, on to episode 54. What are you sipping on tonight?
Woo! Well, I'm sipping on oh well there. What I don't
Mason,
have anything.
this is a beverage
What the hell?
podcast. How do you not how you brought an empty glass to the podcast studio tonight?
Shit. I forgot my wine.
Well, you know what I'm sipping on?
Okay, what are you sipping on? What are you what the hell?
I guess my glass is empty.
What? Why is your glass empty as well?
I don't know, but I think
Shit.
that we definitely need to change that. I mean, I don't know about you, Mason, but I can't record a podcast without an adult beverage in my glass. It's just
at least one, if not two, not three.
At least one. I mean,
at least one. It's very, very important.
No, but I know that.
Well,
go ahead, Mason.
Well, I know that this is the time of the year that everybody gets to celebrate and have a lot of fun, and so why not us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why not have a little extra fun? And for those of you listening, me and Adam decided to do a little extra special that we hinted to on the last podcast, where we were going to give a little surprise to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And not that kind of surprise, but the kind of surprise that you enjoy in the beverage form. So,
what surprise were you vaguely?
don't even. Just don't even. It's just just keep moving. Just keep moving, everybody. So.
Well, yeah. So Mason and I sent each other some wine legally through our friends at wine.com. They're not a sponsor, but we'd love for them to be a sponsor. And I picked out a bottle for Mason. Mason picked out a bottle for me. And Mason, let's get that glass full. Let's see what you got. We both have broken the seal of the package, but we have not actually opened it yet. We just didn't want to have to go through the hassle of ripping tape and all that stuff on the camera. Yeah, doesn't sound very good for the old recording. But Mason, let's see what you got in that box.
Okay, all right. So the big old box. Ooh, what do I have here? This looks cool. Oh, it's just cardboard.
That's
just
right.
Kidding.
I saved $1. Yeah, Mason was a
nice.
sucker. He sent me some wine, but I sent him a piece of cardboard.
Ooh, what is this? What do we have here? Oh, Venice del Hospice, Saint Joseph. Ouch! I smacked myself in the face. Anyways, right on. 2017. Sweet. All right, so talk to me. Why did you choose this while I'm opening this?
Yeah, get that bottle open. So this is a wine from the Rhone Valley in France. It is Syrah. And the producer is a fantastic producer. I've drank some wine from some of their vineyards in Hermitage. And their wines age really beautifully. Super complex wine probably would be better with food, but I decided I wanted to give Mason something that would be best enjoyed with food. But sometimes when you're sharing bottles with friends, you don't always have the perfect pairing. So we're going with a big, bold red that I think will. I think that'll really enhance his beverage podcast recording experience tonight. And I got a hell of a deal on this thing. I was telling Mason that I saved like $45 from the original sale price. So our limit for each other was $100 a bottle. And this wine is well over 100, but I paid well under 100, which is nice. So Mason,
That is
let's
awesome.
hear some of your initial. What are you smelling, and then what are you tasting?
First off, in this light, which I don't have great light in my room, unfortunately, this is super dark, super awesome looking very like I can't even see my hand through it. It is awesome. All right,
Very rich.
very rich. That's the word I'm looking for. Oh, and then you can see beautiful legs coming down on this wine. Well, maybe you can't see it in there because of the.
The glare's a
Let's see. Can
little.
you see it? A little glare? No.
No, not really.
There
But
a
I
little bit, a
believe you. I
little
could see
bit,
it a little bit. Yeah, I could see it a little bit.
a little on the edge. Anyways, ooh, this is nice and bold and juicy. A little bloody.
Nice iron
Oh
notes.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. All right.
And if there's any left, I think that Alex would really enjoy a glass of this if you save anything for her.
We'll see. I don't know. So on the palate, super fruity, super nice, super just overall clean and delicious. A really well made wine. Like I'm super ecstatic about this. Brings me back to my times when I would um, cook up a nice steak or something like that to enjoy with this. Like honestly, it brings back to one of my stories. First time having Syrah with one of my best friends from New York, and he came over. We had steak together, cooked steaks together with um, twice baked potato, asparagus, and drank this tequila shots beforehand, then this bottle, or not this, but a Syrah bottle,
Mm-hmm.
and then afterwards had some Amaro, and we were lit, of course, having a great time. Alex, of course, came home, was really pissed off at us because there was somehow steak on the ground somewhere that had been dropped by one of us, just chilling on the ground, and we had forgotten. Well, oh, whoopsies.
Yeah, but another couple of cool notes about it is aged for 30 months in new barrels that they actually cooper on site, so they make the barrels at the vineyard. Um,
Okay.
and some flavor notes that are online. It's spicy, and there's exotic notes of creme de cassis, toasted spice, barbecue
See
smoke,
that? See that?
and acacia flowers, which I don't know what acacia flowers smell like, but and then the subtle background of oak, and it's very full bodied with ripe tannins and a great finish. Um, so I'm seeing some
Yeah.
notes about saline. I don't know if you taste any saline or salt. Um,
I can see like a little bit there, but
yeah,
I
sometimes
think
that
all
can be a
of your
rich
fruit notes and yeah,
a reach.
it's
But
very overpowering
yeah,
and just super delicious, like in a good way, like very present
mhm.
on that first sip, on that first note,
Yeah, and
sitting on the back of the palate.
I feel like saline too. A lot of the times, like it's easier to taste it in white wines, um,
Yeah,
because you really don't have the tannin. And I feel like uh, stone fruit notes or like citrus notes are a lot lighter than berries or cassis or oak, things like that. Like all of those, like the oak, the tannins, and those really like rich chocolate notes that sometimes you get from red wines really overpower any like saline that you might get in it. Whereas a white wine is a
yeah,
little bit typically more elegant, a little bit lighter, and a little bit you can start to like pull out more subtle things that you might not be able to pull out in a red wine. So
yeah. That's super delicious. It is sitting on the palate. Really nice finish to it, holding onto the tongue, gripping, but not so much that like it's like rip your teeth off your enamel tendons kind of thing, or kind of thing, like holding on to them completely.
so it's like it's starting to mellow a little bit.
Yeah, definitely not super furry. I'm excited to see how this kind of opens up after, you know, us chit chatting for a little bit
Hmm.
longer, opening up your bottle of wine and seeing what kind of happens, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It's and that's kind of that's like the great thing about wine, and like just sending people bottles, loved ones bottles. Being able to share this, even though we can't drink the wine together in person. This is like the next best thing. Sharing wine, even though we live 3.5 hours apart. It's nice. So,
Yeah.
well, good. Well, let's see how it evolves over the course of this podcast. And now I'm gonna
You
reach
got to
down
open your
here.
bottle now.
So I did go one step further than Mason. So Mason did send me what he told me is a sparkling wine. So I
So we
did
need to
take
be refrigerated.
it. Did need to be refrigerated. So there's a box inside of the box. So I took this black box out, which is a nice little wine
Ooh,
box, nice shiny box. And I put
that's
this box in
cool.
the fridge. So I don't know what's inside. I don't even know how to open the box. But the wine is cold. So don't think I'm just pulling this out of a shipping box and like popping open a bottle of sparkling wine.
We would find out if as soon as you hear that pop. So
Yeah.
who knows?
And then inside the
That's a cool
box,
looking box.
it's a nice box. And then inside the
Oh,
box,
oh. Is
the
another
same
box.
kind of shipping. It's not really cardboard. It's like a styrofoam. Not styrofoam either. It's I don't know what
I
it's
think
called.
cardboard's right. Or
Oh
mush.
yeah,
Ooh.
nice
All
little
right.
Billy Cart
Yeah.
Brut
All
Reserve.
right.
One of my favorite champagnes. Thank you, Mason.
You're very welcome.
What
So,
while I'm opening this, what inspired you to buy this bottle?
yeah, so this bottle was a choice for me, for you, because, as a gift for each other, for us to enjoy, I figured it needs to have a good memory. And it's a personal memory for me. This wine was the first sparkling wine or champagne wine that I've interacted with on a, uh, beautiful open. Did you hear that? It sounded like what they like to say is the Queen of England's fart. Well, I can't say that. R.I.P. to her too. So
A French lady's fart.
a French lady's fart. Anyways, but this was the first champagne style I had, like dedicated, had on a full tasting menu, which I had at my old job at Gramercy Tavern, which was just an absolute grand of the time. Get it? Anyways, but it was super cool because it started. They like to call it B and B or something like that. We had some sort of fun name. I can't remember, where we started with Billy Card and we ended with Billy Card. So this extra brute Billy Card,
Interesting.
yeah, was the first one we would start with, and that would be paired with our Fluke Crudo that we would serve, and it had um, bird's beak peppers in it, which was just a. If you haven't had those, they're like a fake spicy pepper. Like it kind of tricks your brain into thinking it's about to be really spicy, and then it doesn't. And it's just got more
Interesting.
of a flavor profile. It was super delicious, as Adam may be able to explain for
Mm.
us in a moment. And then we'd end with their demi-sec um, Billicard, which at the time, I don't know if it's still true, at the time when we were serving it, Gramercy Tavern was the only one, I believe, at least in New York, maybe in the entirety of the United States, that bought all of their demi-sec, so it couldn't be served anywhere else. So
Wow,
if you wanted that, you had to come to Gramercy, which was
that's
really
an
cool.
investment.
Yeah.
And
So
what did they serve with the demi sec?
the demi-sec was with the dessert. It was a rotating dessert depending on the evening, but um, I believe it was a poached pear
Mm.
as the item that we served it with. And, wine needing to be sweeter than the dessert it was
Hmm.
served with, like super important. So it couldn't be an overly sweet dessert because it was only semi sweet.
Yeah.
Get it, Debney? So, anyway, sorry. Too much. Too much. So tell us a little bit about that wine.
Yeah, I mean
How does it
it's
taste?
bad. No, it
It's
tastes good.
terrible.
No, it's good. No, I mean they make really fantastic, champagnes. I think as far as like this style, like of a Brut Reserve champagne, it's kind of like their. I hate to even say it's like their entry level champagne, but it kind of is their entry level champagne. Just like Charles Heidsieck has a Brut Reserve, that's technically their entry level champagne because then they have their vintage series and they have their more higher end like Tete de Cuvée and stuff like that. But I think as far as my two favorite, again, I hate to use the word entry level champagnes because they're such great quality. It's probably between this and Charles Heidsieck. Um, really fantastic. It's on the nose it's just very clean, very fresh, very floral. You get a little bit of like a toasted almond, a little bit of like a fresh baked brioche, but not overpowering. It's very like subtle on the palate. Again, very clean, really nice acid, lots of like apple, a little bit of like a almost like an orange peel or orange zest. There's not a ton of like breadiness to it, but not a ton of yeastiness, which sometimes in entry level champagnes they like almost crush it with yeast to just make it feel like it's more expensive. So I like that they've kind of taken a more like, and I don't have any technical details about the wine, so I could be way off. But just from what I'm tasting, it's not overly yeasty, not overly bready, but just a really clean, crisp, refreshing champagne that honestly like is super, super drinkable. Um, and I mean, from a cost perspective, I mean, it's probably around like the 60, 70-ish dollars a bottle mark.
Yeah.
So it's, to me, still great value in champagne because a lot of like the big producers, their champagnes are super, super expensive. And that's the other reason why I love this is, I feel like I can have a really great champagne at not an overly expensive bottle. Again, we've talked about this in the past. I know $60 to $70 a bottle is expensive for a bottle of wine, but in the world of champagne, it's not the bottom. You can definitely get champagne for less expensive, but if you want to drink high quality champagne, 60, 50 to 70 is kind of like the sweet spot of where you want to be spending for champagne that's like high quality. Um,
Yeah.
Again,
So
I know there's less expensive ones out there, but that's kind of where I sit with Charles Heidsieck and Billy Cart.
yeah. So with this, the producer Ricard Simeon is a mid-sized champagne house in the region of, I'm gonna butcher the fuck out of this. Anyways, is Marel sous A. Any? You got anything? No.
I
All
mean,
right.
honestly, my French, like, and it might not even be Billicart. It might be like some French way to say it, and same with like Saumon. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
if it's because it's spelt salmon, like
Yeah.
Salmon, but I know it's not salmon. Salmon,
No. Salmon.
salmon,
Simeon. Simon.
Saumon.
Um, but they're from 1818, which is just wild that they've been around for that long, that they've been
Mm-hmm.
producing. So, like, super cool, super well known. Other notes for you of aromas that they think and or push onto their wine that they believe is what they say: Anjou pear, green apple, hints of wildflower, and lemon, with that texture and with an elegant texture and nuance, but it's persistent and long lasting, which
Mm-hmm.
is cool.
Yeah, and the,
Uh,
the the perlage is super fine too. I mean, obviously, like I'm drinking it out of a normal like all-purpose wine glass, which is I hate flutes, and I think Mason probably agrees with me. As far as like actually enjoying the wine and being able to smell and taste the wine like an all-purpose wine glass is the best. It's harder to tell with the perlage because there's a lot more surface area in the glass, so the bubbles kind of go in different directions. But super fine bubbles, really great perlage. You can like it might be
It
hard to
looks like
see,
it's
but
crazy going like right
yeah,
now. I can just
um,
see bubble, 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 bubble.
yeah. I mean it, and it's really really nice.
Uh, damn. Yeah.
Well, thanks, Mason.
Yeah. No, thank you. So this is just absolutely a pleasure of a podcast to do because being able to try something that I may not purchase for myself or
Hmm.
I may not even think about getting for a while because you know Syrah has, like we said, something that you might want to do more with a pairing of food or something
Hmm.
like that, but still awesome and fun to drink and delicious. I just, it's always fun to open up your mind to what is there to drink and how much of this is going to be gone before the end of the night. A lot. That's the answer.
Yeah, and I think too, like I feel like as a restaurant someone that sold restaurant or wine in restaurants for a long time, and being in that industry, like you're always thinking like, well, what would this pair with? What would this pair with? What would this pair with? And you don't always have the opportunity to cook a meal that's going to pair with the wine, right? Like, because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
the wine is meant to be drank. And I will say, oftentimes, if the parent, what you got, is it like embossed with something or
Yeah, like it's like pushed into the glass. I'm just feeling the bottle up. It just feels
no?
so good. It's just fun.
Um, like, what is he doing? Um,
just play with my baby bottle.
um, but I feel like, with pairings, like if you don't get the pairing perfectly, sometimes it can actually be detrimental to the, not, I hate to say detrimental, but it can actually have a negative effect on how the wine is perceived. Whereas
Yeah,
if you have a clean palate, you're not eating anything, like you're getting the wine for what it is. Because if you eat a super fatty food, the tannins, you will perceive the tannins to be less in the wine. If you eat a food that's maybe got a lot of black pepper or is spicy or slightly spicy, that wine is going to taste spicier, hotter, or higher in alcohol. So it's one of those things like where if you don't get the pairing right, it's almost better to not pair it at all. Like just drink it by itself.
yeah.
Um,
Plus, then you get to really, like you said earlier, showcase it for what it is. Which, speaking of like tasting and things like that, which is just kind of wild to think about, is I'm sure as you were training too for your exams and things like that, tasting wines, the best time to taste them was early morning, even
mhm.
though it's late evening right now. But that's when you got the most flavor on your palate, in which nothing else interrupts it, so that you just enjoy the wine for what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's so true, but it's like in the morning so I was listening to or watching a TikTok, which, God knows, anyway. Um and they were saying that the best time for your body to consume alcohol, and like, if you're going to drink alcohol, it's the best time to do it is in the morning, because then your body has all day to like break it down before you go to bed. But I'm like one of
Morning
those
shots.
people. Yeah, I'm like, I don't really, unless I'm like going out to brunch, I really don't have the urge to drink alcohol in the morning. Like,
Yeah,
and same thing with the wine pairings. Like, I know it's the best time, or the wine tasting, it's the best time to taste wine in the morning. But like, you know, unless I have to, I really don't want to. It's like I want coffee in the morning, and you can't drink coffee before you go taste wine either. Like, it's terrible for your palate. But it's like, I don't,
crusher of the palate.
and also like if you maybe drank too much the night before and then you're doing a wine tasting in the morning, it's like that's no fun. I mean,
You're
it's
like,
fun once you're done because you're like, okay, now I've got the hair of the dog. But like that first sip is like, ooh,
ooh.
It's just like
I'm not ready
I
for
don't know.
this.
I'm not real into the whole drinking in the morning thing unless I'm at brunch.
Yeah, brunch or a fun event. 9 a.m. on the golf course. Who knows? There are many reasons to drink early in the morning.
You just threw a whole monkey wrench in my statement. I love drinking in the morning, especially if I'm on the golf course, like cracking a beer open on the first tee.
Ooh, it always depends. When is it happening? How is it happening? What are the events? But yeah, if you're going for these tastings, that kind of thing.
No, and like pairings, as much as I would love some caviar and some potato chips right now with this wine.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my now
Go
that
for
I'm
some
kind of out of
barbecue.
some barbecue,
Oh yeah.
maybe some brisket.
I got some ribs what I smoked last week that wouldn't be good now, but like good with this right now.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds fantastic.
That does sound good. And I think what the hell was I going to say?
Something about your champagne caviar, creme fraiche, Lay's potato chips, deliciousness.
Honestly, I have no idea where I was going with that.
Lost it. It's all good.
My brain's just in absolute shambles right now. It's been a December, and I also haven't really been drinking all that much too. So these bubbles are going directly
straight to the head.
Yeah, even though I've had like a glass and a half, I really have I've been like one beer a night, and sometimes not even, and usually it's like good. Beers don't count as drinks. Shots don't count.
Just a glass of wine doesn't
Wine's
count.
the only thing that counts. Mixies don't count, and cocktails count too, but mixies don't count.
Straight up pours, maybe halfers.
Bottle tokes don't count. No, I mean that was pours. Like when I was younger. That was like the thing that we always used to say, like before we'd go out to the bar, because we'd be like, "Oh, just all right, we're going out, but we're only having one drink." We'd be like, "But beers don't count, shots don't count, mixies don't count, bottle tokes don't count, wine counts, and cocktails count." So it's like you could have as many shots and all this other stuff that you wanted, and you'd be like, "Okay, I just had my one beer, like that's my one drink." And then you'd go home. But it's like you do like in that time it took you to drink the beer, you'd have like 3 shots of Fernet or something like that.
It don't count.
And now I think back to that. I wouldn't be able to do that anymore.
No? You don't think you could keep up with the young folks anymore?
Not the younger version of myself. No, I could not. I'm getting fucking old. Like I was talking to my parents the other day and they were like, "Yeah, we were talking the other day, and we just couldn't believe like you're gonna be 30 in a couple years." And I'm like, "God damn it!"
Oh, don't say that. Like, come on.
They're like, "Well, if imagine how you feel. Like we're gonna be, in our mid 50s in a couple years." And I'm like, "Okay, well, now I'm depressed because I'm no longer like mid 20s or early 20s. Like we're Mason, you and I are late 20s now." And we're pushing 30 quicker than we should be. I mean, you'll hit 30 before I will, but
yeah,
it's
can't believe it.
Yeah, it's not a fun fit. Like, because you're already 28, right?
Yep, you're already 28.
No, I'm not.
No,
I'm not 30.
You're 27.
I'm not 28 yet. I'm 27. I'll be 28 in May. I've got some time.
You're okay. You're there. You've got time. You're 27 and a half. Yeah, it's almost there.
Yeah. And, I've been kind of changing subjects. Like, I've been doing a lot of holiday shopping. Unfortunately, like, none of it is for me.
Right.
But the fortunate thing...
this time of the year. You're given.
But the fortunate thing is I haven't been spending any of my money because I've been buying other people holiday gifts for other people. So, like, for example, I don't know who, I don't want to like out anyone, who might
Your
be
best
listening.
friend from so and so was
Yeah, I mean, like
my
my
coworker's ex
coworker,
coworkers.
yeah, my coworker was looking for a like. This is not true,
uh,
but my coworker was looking for a gift for her husband and had me pick out some bottles for them. So it's been really fun because I've just been given budgets. Like, hey, my budget's this. Cool.
have fun.
I'm buying stuff on wine.com, having it shipped directly to their door, and it doesn't cost me anything. They get a great wine. I get to shop and spend other people's money. It's a
It's a
win-win
fun time.
situation. But yeah, I mean, I've been buying a lot of wine. Again, none of it's for me. Although I shouldn't say that. There's or three bottles that I'll be involved with for our family holiday.
One
Yep,
bottle for
that's
me.
one of them. Um, one of the one of the wines I bought for our family holiday, which is we're all meeting up after Christmas, like the week between Christmas and New Year's. We're going to my aunt's house in Indianapolis, and
Solid.
I bought some wine and shipped it to her, and so I'll get to experience some of that. I bought a Magnum and a couple bottles of champagne, so super excited to be a part of that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's been fun just buying wine for other people.
Yeah. I
So
agree. It's always a great time to do that. We bought my sister, or our sister in law's. Oh shit! Oh, keep out the cord. Uh, our sister in law a whole case, and we did a little fun mixy case, and we just kind of decided our budget for it and started picking and choosing which will be good. And I'm sure she'll open up or we'll open up one of those bottles at Christmas time when we give it to her. But now it's more the fun part of how are we going to wrap this case up? Do we want to wrap it as a case, individually, one big one, or do we want to wrap individual bottles, have her open up every single bottle? Because that could be fun. Or a little bit of little sliders like this baby, a little boop 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 kind of action. Who knows? We're gonna have a fun time though, getting to choose that.
if it were me, I think I would rather just have you wrap the box and not all the individual bottles because that shit would piss me off. I mean,
But isn't that the fun
don't
part
get me
too?
wrong, like I'd be super grateful if someone bought me a case of wine, but if you wrapped each individual bottle, that shit would fucking chap my ass so hard because it like I mean, I just think of the amount of time that you spent wrapping all those bottles, like, because wrapping presents sucks.
It
Like,
does.
if I could
I'm
just
not good at
wrap
it.
one big thing instead of wrapping one big thing and then wrapping 12 individual small things inside of the one big thing,
And
like
then wrapping the big thing, wrap all individual,
yeah,
then wrap the box.
yeah, I'm like that just stresses me out. Like
Oh
when you see those people who
gosh.
like wrap the one big box and then inside the big box is a smaller box and a smaller box, smaller box, smaller box,
And it's
like,
just a gift card.
and it's a gift card or like it's a dollar bill or it's like something
Uh,
stupid. It's like you spent so much on wrapping paper and so much time wrapping all those different vessels and boxes and this and that. Like that shit just pisses me off. But like like it's I see that shit online all the time and it's like it's such clickbait because I'm sitting there watching them unwrap all these boxes. I'm like, really another one, really another one, really another one, and then like they get to the last one, it's a dollar bill, and I'm like,
wow.
but
Wow.
they made a lot of money on that video, I guess. So it's jokes on me.
No. Well, we never discussed our question of the day.
We didn't, and we honestly didn't really do much planning for this episode besides buying
No.
each other
Listen.
wine and doing what our sponsor wanted us to talk about. But I mean, other than that, this has just been again. This is how
Off the
Mason
hip.
off the hip. That's I mean, sometimes Mason, I think it's good that we do podcasts like this because we really just get to like chat
And shoot the shit
and
and
shoot the
talk about
shit.
life and have a good time.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know if our listeners like listening to it, but I mean,
I like listening to it.
I like listening to it. When I listen to this in the car on my way to work, I'm like, yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah. Enjoy it. We
You
die
know,
laughing.
and I hate to say it, but like there are times when I'm listening to this podcast back, like, in the car. Like, I know what happens during the podcast, right? Like, we record the podcast and then I edit the podcast and then I'm listening to it. And there's still times where I will start laughing, like, while I'm listening to it. I was like, God,
We'll
we're
be like,
so
"Oh."
like we're so stupid, or God, that joke was really funny.
Or that was
Um,
so dumb. I just couldn't believe
and
I
I'm
said
like, all
that.
right, clip that so I can make a TikTok out of it.
Uh,
But yeah, like, sometimes just these conversation podcasts are, really good for the soul. Especially like in the holiday season, just kind of catching up, doing these gift exchanges, which is really nice. Getting each other a bottle that maybe we wouldn't buy for each other or buy for ourselves. And now you
yeah.
got some wine to share with Alex tonight or tomorrow with dinner.
Oh, yes, yes, absolutely. I will definitely share this bottle with her.
Don't worry, if she's just listening to this on Spotify, she won't hear what I just said. So if she's watching it
Exactly.
on YouTube, she'll know what I said.
She'll see it. Maybe.
Yeah.
Depends. Real question is, are you going to share that bottle with Liv?
Um, I'll offer, but she probably will say no.
Yeah, well, oh
She'll
well.
probably say no. Well, actually, she
Eh,
might say yes today because
It's sparkling.
it's sparkling and we've got reasons to celebrate. Not going to say anything else about it for right now, but yeah. So we might be sharing some of this bottle tonight. See if she's into it. If not, I'm going to absolutely, after the camera's cut, I'm drinking out of the bottle. But
Yeah,
no, yeah. But anyway, so question of the day. We didn't even discuss the question of the day. You got something, Mason?
I got something, which is, what is the favorite gift you've given to somebody as a bottle of wine, and what was your favorite received bottle of wine?
Did we do that last week?
Maybe we did do that last week.
I think
We
we
did
did
do
do
that.
that.
That's why
We did do
we
that
can't do
last
it. We
week.
can't do it. That's why it sounded so great in my
Yeah,
head.
like, that's a great. Like, yeah, we
That's
just did
okay.
it.
We did that one. All right, all right, all right.
Hmm.
What is your favorite memory from the bottle of wine that you have gifted someone?
What is your favorite memory of a bottle of wine, or a bottle of wine that you gifted someone?
Because that's what we're doing. We gifted wine to each other.
We did gift wine to each other. Such a sweet, thoughtful gift.
Oh,
Also, the gift that you can give someone if you don't know what else to get someone. In
yeah.
this
People.
case, it was well thought out, and we did do it with purpose. But it's also could be your generic holiday gift of, I don't know what to get you. Here's a bottle of wine.
Here's some
Um,
alcohol. I know
yeah.
you'll love it.
And if you're listening to this and you didn't listen to our last podcast, check out episode 53, Balling on a Holiday Budget. We give some really great bargain bottles and things that we recommend at inexpensive prices. Check that
Very
out on
inexpensive
Spotify,
prices.
YouTube, anywhere you might stream your podcast. Mason, you got one off the top of your head as far as your favorite memory of a bottle that you gifted?
Besides this one that I gave you for the story
That was
already,
a really good story.
the another story for me would be probably it was a gift that I received, and it was something special, which was a Chateau Yquem for the night before the night of my wedding,
Mm-hmm.
when I had everybody come over to the in-laws' house and we drank this beautiful, I think it was 80 something a chem, and it was just absolutely the most zinger bottle I've ever tasted. Like, bright, zippy, delicious, super honey, super amazing, and it was just something special. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I've only had Yakim once, and it was amazing. I had it at a restaurant that poured it by the glass, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was like $50 for 2 ounces or something like that. Like, it was crazy. Actually, it might have been more. It might have been 65 for 2 ounces, but it was phenomenal.
Solid. Well, what about you?
I don't know. I was trying to think of it when you were talking, but I'm like blanking out. And I have a story, but I feel like I've already told it.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of something else. I'll just tell it anyway. So
If you heard it again, it's okay.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't want to tell it. I'm going through. Like I said, it's been a couple of weeks. It's been crazy. My mind is mush. And now I've had 2.5 glasses of bubbles, so I'm like feeling like a little, like disoriented. And Mason had two. Although Mason had two margaritas before he started drinking wine, so if
I don't know
anyone
what
should
you're
be
talking about.
disoriented, it should be him. But
I don't know what you're talking about.
but margaritas, what?
What? What?
No, I think
Me?
I think for me, and I don't really have any like bottles in particular. And it wasn't so much a gift, but it was last Thanksgiving, I guess, or 2 Thanksgivings ago. Um, I went to my grandparents' house, and one of my great aunts was there. My parents were there. My brother, I think, was there. Actually, maybe my brother wasn't there. And we drank wine like all day long. We went to a really great meal at our restaurant, and then we came back home, and my grandma had made dessert, so we were having dessert. And I opened a bottle of 1996 Sauterne. I don't remember who the producer was. It wasn't Yakim. It was, I don't remember. But the special note was 96's birth year, so it's always fun opening a birth year wine. And I think I'd opened a 1996 Barolo that night too, so it was like we had two birth year wines. Which then I was pissed on my birthday because I had opened my birthday present to myself in Thanksgiving or on Thanksgiving. But I mean, that's what happens when I start drinking. I just start ripping corks on bottles. So,
Having too
but
much
anyway,
fun.
yeah, I have way too much fun. And then I'm like, why did I do that? But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it was fantastic. We paired it with, I think it was cheesecake with maybe like peaches or something like that on it. And the pairing was phenomenal. It was really, really great. And like Sauterne is just such a fun thing. Like I don't ever buy Sauterne because it's such a commitment. Like even a half bottle, like you really
Yeah.
need some other people to share it with.
Because it's just so much. So
And
sweet.
it's so sweet. Like you could maybe have 2 2-ounce pours, and I think that's even pushing it. Like 1 2 ounce. Like I mean,
I
I'm
could,
never gonna say no, but like if you're just sitting there, like it's very very sweet. And
yeah.
you need a dessert to drink with or to eat with it because it can be very overpowering. But yeah, that's again not really a gift I gave, but more of an experience around the holidays. And a lot of times, like we don't give gifts, we just share bottles and have a good time.
And that is the gift,
And that
you
is the
know?
gift. The gift
The
is
gift
me.
of time and me and the wine together.
That's right.
Well, should we wrap this up? Shout out to the sponsors and to our
Shout out Shoes
listeners.
Pizza.
Shoes Pizzeria, Mama Papa Shoe, love you so much. Thank you for everything you do. Crush it on that pizza deals at Wednesdays, right? Right?
What do you mean?
Wings Wednesdays? What is it? What is it on?
It's 50 cents on Tuesdays.
Tuesdays.
Yeah, Tuesdays are the
That's my
deals.
favorite day.
I don't know what the deal is on Wednesday. Maybe we'll shout out the Wednesday deal
next time.
Or actually, we should probably shout out the Thursday deal because we released the podcast on Thursday. So
yeah, that would be a better one.
I got to look on their website. Great website, www.shoespizza.com, or maybe it's shoespizzeria.com. Don't hate me, sponsor, but actually, I could tell you right now. It's shoespizzeria.com.
There you go.
Right. I was
Boom.
right, and I've got they've got all their specials right on their homepage of the website. So check them out. And Mason, we've only got one more podcast this year. So until then, I'm Adam,
I'm Mason.
and
Keep
keep on
on
blending.
blending.
All right, we love you guys.
Peace.
Merry
See you
Christmas.
next time.